Hi, welcome to the Wonky Quilter. I'm Kim Bourgeois Landry, and I'm thrilled that you're here to watch this little video with me. I'm titling this one, Kim is still working on getting her creative groove back, but I really have been working on it and just really using my heart and my mind, my emotional body, my spiritual body, trying to come up with where did my quilter go? I miss her, you know. I have pulled so many fabrics out. I wish, I wouldn't even show it to you. I thought I should just video this and show them what I've done to my sewing area. I mean, I just had fabrics everywhere. And while I was playing with these fabrics, I had other fabrics draped across my arm. I was wearing fat quarters, you know, as bandanas. I mean, stitching and then disconnecting the stitches because I was dissatisfied with everything. And it's not about sewing a straight line. I mean, hello, I'm called the Wonky Quilter. I like things that are a little off. I like lines that aren't exactly 100% straight and have a little bit of humanness in them, you know. But listen, I've been dissatisfied with everything. Hot tea, careful. Very good. A little tea is soothing to the soul, I have to tell you. But it occurred to me, because I do dream work with people sometimes, I mean, and all that is I sit as a friend, I guess, and help people. I listen to their dreams and we look for the signs, symbols, and metaphors, and then we talk about those things and see if we can't decipher the symbolic language and come up with the messages that are coming through about how to change their life or how to enjoy their life or how to be grateful in their life, whatever the case may be. And very often dreams are so elusive. I mean, it's just like puff and they're gone if you are not really paying attention to writing your dreams every day. So you really have to pay attention to things. And I'm thinking it's the same thing with the creative urge. If you are not dedicated and I don't know what the other word would be. See, that probably is a problem. Disciplined. Yeah, that's a problem. I couldn't think of the word discipline, but dedicated and disciplined with it. Do you know, it'll just kind of float away from you if you're not giving it its propers. So very often I have to tell people, listen, try to stop thinking of what it is. Stop trying to just pull that dream back to you. Just let it go. Free up your brain. Stop trying to think about it. Call me back when it comes to you. But it's not that important. Just let it go. I mean, it is that important. But, you know, relax your mind. Do other things. Just let it go. And I think almost all of us, once you stop looking for the keys are right in front of your face, kind of thing. Do you know? Once you untangle your mind, your whole body is tense and trying to find that one thing or trying to locate something that, I don't know, you've just misplaced. So I just thought, well, why am I not using that as a great tip from my own personal toolbox? Hello. Stop searching for it and just start being in the place. And maybe it's not my quilter I'm looking for. Maybe it's my creative urge. Like, do something else that will draw that to you. I mean, like, I have to free up my mind is what I'm thinking. And when I'm saying, I'm talking about myself, but really I'm kind of putting it out to the universe. Anybody else have a problem with this? This is how I'm going about it, okay? Like, pick up what works for you and let go of the rest. I went to a painting class at Painting with a Twist. I don't know if they have them all over the United States or all over the world, but it's like you're supposed to go with a girlfriend or guy friend or a husband or wife, or, you know, whatever. Go with an other person, do you know? And bring a bottle of wine or a couple of beers or whatever it is. And they give you step-by-step instructions. And it's really for people who don't have, you know, ability. My mother was a good painter. I've kept her brushes and I've kept some of her oil paints, but she had a huge collection of brushes. I could not let go of them, but I don't have that talent. If I do, I haven't identified it yet. I just don't think I do. But so I went to this class, and I even invited a few friends. I did it at last minute on a Sunday. Nobody could come because it was part of my process. So I went out there, and I felt no stress. I felt no pressure to know how to do it well, because I'm not a painter. I don't have to do it well. I just had to slap some paint on there and follow directions. Do you know what? That's how I felt when I started quilting. I didn't know how to do it. I just started like sewing things. You know, what are you gonna do? It was so freeing. I felt charged up when I left there. Not because I recognized that all of a sudden I have all of this talent as a painter and it's my new thing. No, nothing like that. But I felt like I had stretched some muscles. I had played with color. I had been free and easy with it. There was no judgment. I came home and I hung that little painting. You know, it's not really great, but I mean, I didn't hang it in the middle of my house, okay? I hung it in the utility, behind a thing, over a thing, behind on the side of the freezer where, you know, nobody can see it but me when I go in there for, you know, a box of crackers or something. And, I mean, I know this would be crazy, but when I go back there, I just kind of look at it and I go, in my mind, and I'm like, I see you, pretty little painting. I see you. You cute. Do you know, that's how I felt when I first started stitching. Because that little painting owed me nothing. I was under no pressure to have it be good or better or best. Or I wasn't competing with anybody. I mean, I don't think of myself as a competer, but maybe I am, I don't know. What I realized from that day, what really got me thinking about, is how I had become a daily grader of my stitching. Every day I needed it to be better than the day before. I wanted to see improvement. I wanted to see a better stitch quality. I wanted to see patience in my stitches. I wanted to see a clean, kind of professional look to it, instead of looking at it for joy and for just for art's sake, because it pleased me. You know, kabam! So I guess what I want to say after going through all those words is, don't always look for what it is you're lost if you've blocked. Maybe go in the opposite direction. Look for something that's under the same umbrella. For me, okay, it's creativity. But instead of looking for my quilter, I started experimenting with my painter. You know, she's not very good, but she doesn't have to be. She just has to please me. And you know what? I'm not all that hard to please. I'm really not. So I have to watch all my, the things I pick up from an external place of what a professional person would do, or what someone who really had it in them to be the best. I mean, it's not that I don't want to be the best. I want to accidentally be the best. I am under no, I need to remind myself, I am not working to be the best at it. I'm working at being the best Kim. And I have to keep it light and easy and just joy-filled. If I'm not in joy while I'm doing something, I am in trouble. And it doesn't matter what you're doing during the day. If you have some deep thoughts about things, let those things flow, because there's information for you in it. Do you know? There's information for me in it. It probably will work for you too. I had my grandchildren in for the weekend. We did not quilt. My oldest granddaughter said, "Are we going to sew?" Because we had been painting. I went out and bought some watercolors to play with, and I had, of course, some acrylics, very inexpensive acrylics for the kids to play with. And I went and bought concrete mix and paver patterns, you know, that you pour the concrete in, and little broken colored glass and broken beads and all kind of real cool things, shells. And we made paver stones. And it occurred to me how light I felt working with these babies, you know, a 5-year-old and almost 3-year-old with concrete. Concrete is something that weighs you down. It's something that turns hard. It's something, you know, it's not malleable. It's a solid, it can knock you out, you know. And yet, working with concrete, I felt light as a balloon because I was just playing with creativity. And again, with color and patterns, because I had all of these plastic, you know, templates, I guess, that the concrete fit in. One was square, one was a star, one was a circle, you know, it was still quilt patterns. We put all the little pieces of glass and made a mosaic. That's a quilt pattern. So, but it's almost like entering the same house but coming in through a different door. Do you know? And I am sitting in my sewing room again, and I'm playing with fabric because I have a lot of fabric to fold and put away. Do you know, you go berserk and take all the fabric out. Guess who's got to pick that stuff up? So what I have left today, I'm still playing with a bunch of fat quarters that I had bought at the Achey Powerhouse in New Orleans, which is a grassroots movement, I guess I would say, run by this is what they would call themselves, African queens. This is a group of beautiful black women who have put their money together over the last 15 or 20 years and called in sponsors and called in people with money and bought an old building and turned it into a show place for the arts. I went there to study quilting, and that's where it was held. They hosted the G's Bin Quilters, and there were a bunch of fine ladies, the G's Bin Quilters too, but the Achey ladies, women, they were amazing. Well, there was a fabric store, I think, that from Magazine Street, that was there and had fabrics for sale. And because I work with all old fabrics, mine were all wrinkled. They were like, we want to see you do something with bright colors, because I tend to, I don't know, I'm always doing these little earth tones and everything. So I bought some fabrics there. Almost everything I bought was oranges. So these are what I have left to put up. And these have a special meaning to me, but look at that. Hello. Look at that beautiful orange. Isn't she gorgeous? So I really need to do something beautiful with these. I still have these left to put up. So folding these fabrics and playing with them, reorganizing them actually by color and not by project, which is what I put certain fabrics together for projects, and I'm doing it differently. And that's really hard. Like, I didn't know that. Like, because you run into things you're like, well, what color is this? Where does something like this go? Do you know where it goes? It goes to somebody else. I look at all this and I go, you know what? I love stripes on a quilt, little stripes on a quilt. And I love triangles. Let me find one that's not exactly a triangle, but you know. I love all of these geometric shapes. And who doesn't love a heart? There's hearts on here too. Let's see, look, there's one right there. Except nothing about this fabric draws me. It's too sweet for me. It's too lovely. It's too, I don't want to say too pink, because I like pink. I just bought a pink pair of shoes, so I should shut up. But there's something about it that I don't love, but I have it. It's a little piece I probably bought at a garage sale or something. Oh, look at this. What do you think people were making? Look at that. Somebody had some little hexy action going. But sometimes when you know something is not serving your life, you just have to let it go. But I have a lot of fabrics like this that I didn't know where to put. It's like, is this pink? Does this go with children's stuff? Does this go with modern stuff? Where does it go? This one goes away. But there are plenty of them like that I didn't know whether I should put in the pinks or the reds or the yellows. or what? So that is going to help me. Organize your space, organize your mind. Let's see, what else? I had all kind of good stuff to tell you. I've had a lot of people comment to me on my voice for some reason. Thank you. And I watched a video on voice sound, and it happened to be a video by the Try Guys, which is a popular YouTube, I guess, troupe. I'm going to say they're a troupe of 4 guys who are comedians, and it's just a crazy kind of, it's not serious at all, it's funny, but they wrote a book and they're doing the audio of it. So they were working with these professionals to do the audio of their book, and one of the Try Guys asked this professional who was in the in the room listening to the sound. So I guess he was a technician, a producer. He was the sound guy who was helping him get it right. He said, what is the difference? I mean, you write a book, the words are all on the page. What is the bonus that you get for the audio? And the guy said, oh, that's so easy. It's the life. It's the person's smile. It is vitality, and there's just a life. It's living when the words are spoken, and you don't get that. You have to use your imagination. It's how you choose to hear it, see it, when you're reading it. He said, this expert, who I'm going to give you a direct quote, but I don't know the guy's name. So if you want to look it up, it's the Try Guys video on fixing our voices. And this man said, I'm going to read this. He said, Charles Dickens made all of his money in his lifetime while he was alive. Okay, that's not a quote. I just added words. He said Charles Dickens made all of his money in his lifetime by reading his writing. And so did Mark Twain. Okay, so that's a huge piece of information. Like, do you get that? What their creative urge was about was writing books. I mean, they had things that they wanted to communicate, and they communicated through writing, and they sold their books. But how they paid their bills during their lifetime, I mean, these men are going to be famous. The books will be in print for the rest of eternity. But how they made their living in their lifetime was sitting before an audience and reading their writing. So it wasn't their creative urge. It was having someone witness them reading what their creative urge was. That feels so very important to me. I don't know if that came across, that I've been looking for my quilter, but really, I can express that in a different way. I'm not trying to compare myself to Charles Dickens or Mark Twain. Like, by no means. I'm trying to say, what a great example. Like, look at that. It's not just what your main thing is. Do something else creative. And there follows, the wave of goodness that comes with it, the payoff for that. It's probably never going to be money for me with quilting, but my payoff will be joy, I don't know, I just think that was a huge piece of fun information, that they did not pay their bills and feed their families off of the sales of their books, but through traveling and sitting before an audience and reading their writing. Amazing. Isn't that amazing? So there's also one other thing I wanted to share that I thought was a very powerful thing. Let's see if I can pull this back up. I've got it on my iPad. I took a picture of it. I'm not going to be able to find it now. Oh, here it is. And it's something called mental see, where does it say? Mental crop rotation. So, I'm going to just read this to you. And this is from Flavor Oracle. A gentleman wrote this in Flavor Oracle. When farmers grow the same crop too many years in a row, it can leave their soil depleted of minerals and other nutrients that are vital to the health of their fields. To avoid this, farmers will often alternate crops that they grow because some plants will use different minerals such as nitrogen, while others replenish those same minerals. This process is known as crop rotation. So the next time you find yourself in need to step away from a project to work on something else for a while, don't beat yourself up for quitting that particular project. Give yourself permission to practice mental crop rotation. Maintain a healthy brain field. Because I've found that when you unnecessarily guilt and pressure yourself, and you remove those things, let me start that over. Because I found that when unnecessary guilt and pressure are removed from the process, a good mental crop rotation can help you feel more energized and more invigorated than ever. And once you're ready to do that, you can rotate back to that original project. Hello, that's a powerful piece of information too. Mental crop rotation. So I guess that's what I'm doing right now. I mean, I'm playing with paints, I've been playing with concrete, and I am playing with fabrics. And one of these days, I'll be sitting here playing with fabrics, listening to my podcast, feeling all happy, and I'll just, you know, put two of those pieces of fabric under the foot of my sewing machine and lower it and start sewing, and I'll just be a happy camper again. But until then, I'm just going to keep chasing and playing with and enjoying all kinds of creative opportunities that are right here in my own home. So I hope that you enjoyed this. Come back and see me again. Please go to my YouTube channel and subscribe and like it and share it with any friends that you think may find this valuable. I know I talk about quilting, but really it's about mental processes and spiritual processes and what quilting means to me in my life. It's very, very important. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye.